All right, let's take a look at Nick Solak, Texas Rangers. Another guy who had some ABs last year and some more at-bats this year, to where we can go ahead and get a nice idea. You see here, we had him rated as basically a AAA player. So we have Nick Solak as a second baseman, third baseman, outfielder. We'll go ahead and change his second position to outfield. 4 stars, that looks pretty good. On his career, in 325 ABs, he's actually a 277 hitter. Not too much pop, performs a lot better versus lefties. And you tend to see this out of righty batters quite often. So versus righties on his career, he's a 256 hitter. I feel comfortable to go ahead and give him kind of like the full-on bump there, but versus lefties, he's at 316. We'll kind of keep the numbers down a little bit on him on that. I want to see more, at least like another half season of performance out of him in terms of giving him that full-on bump. Power versus lefties and righties about the same. As I said, he doesn't have too much pop. Stolen bases. This is where he does work. So not a huge threat, but 15 to 20 steals per year for him. So not too bad. Good speed and everything. Everything else looks good. Let's bump his bunting up a little bit. I generally put bunting higher for guys that are faster. That doesn't necessarily mean that that's the case, that he bunts a lot, but it's just a metric I use. You guys may do your thing a little bit differently. And then definitely adjust his hot zones versus lefties and righties. That's Nick Solak, everybody. T-Swag, this one's for you, brother. Also C-Dub, I know you're out there somewhere. Got your Mariners here. Now this one's Kyle Lewis. This guy, Kyle Lewis, he performed decent last year. We had him kind of like in the AA, AAA range here. Performed decent last year, dropping down to 4 stars. But he started off on absolute fire, as you guys know, and in the off season, I kind of missed the boat on him in terms of his rookie cards. I was able to pick up some, but his stuff just exploded in value. So I really passed on a lot of that. Changed his number here to 1. But then he came back to his kind of average and actually performed about the same as he did in 2019. He's got a lot of data now, so we can go ahead and update him. But he's one of those cautionary tales, and this is what I was talking about, Swag. He's one of those cautionary tales where you don't want to go ahead and bump this guy up just because he comes out at the gate hitting 350 in the first week and a half, or the first month even. Take a look at Charlie Blackmon, right? He was hitting 500 for the longest time, and he ended up around 300. The last I checked, I hadn't looked in about a week, but that's why I always caution, 208 versus lefties he's hitting. So we'll go ahead and leave that down here. Versus righties, he's a little bit better over his career. He's a 285 hitter. So we'll go ahead and put him kind of in this range. Again, I want to see another half season out of him. Homer-wise, dude's definitely got pop. Not going to take that away from him. So we'll kind of put him up into the 70-ish range. But I definitely want to see more out of him next year. Another half season, whatnot, before we can go ahead and get accurate information for him. Plate discipline, he's got a good eye at the plate. Speed-wise, stealing, everything looks good here. Let's bump him up a little bit speed-wise. Now versus lefties, obviously you want to make some changes. He's pretty terrible there. Lefties, he's hurting, as I said. And then versus righties, he definitely takes care of business. Interestingly enough, he's a righty that actually mashes righties but can't hit lefties. So You wonder if that's going to be a situation where if that continues, they kind of put him in a platoon situation going forward in his career. So that's Kyle Lewis, everybody. Again, that cautionary tale as to why I like to wait to get a ton of ABs in before I go ahead and give a player an update. Brusdar Graterol, everybody. They had him as a starter when I was looking through the prospects list and when I first created him and everything like that. Now, as you know, in his time with the Dodgers this year, he only put in 2 starts. So we're going to go ahead and convert him to a reliever. And now that we have some data on him, we can go ahead and drop him down to a 4-star. 3 ERA, not bad for a young guy. He's definitely really young, so probably got a good career ahead of him. We'll see where it goes. But now that we've got a lot of data on him, we can go ahead and look at his fan graphs and get those accurate. That's the main thing. It looks like he's a 2-pitch pitcher. So that should make things pretty easy in terms of that. Like I said, they had him as a starter when I was looking at creating him initially. Now, fastball at 99, baby. Woo! Bump that control up a little bit. Stamina, that's pretty good. And he's slider. So he's fastball, slider all the way. There's the slider. Slider's coming in at 89 on average. Curveball. He's not using that. He's not using a 3rd pitch. Looks like he used a changeup last year. Not using that anymore. So update to him. Brusdar Graterol, everybody. I lucked out and picked up a lot of his rookie cards in anticipation of. So keep going forward and doing great in your career. Even though I don't like the Dodgers, I'll root for him. All right, everybody. Thanks for watching this video. Like I do with all of my videos, and there'll be a lot more. I'll do some more next week. But in the meantime, if you guys have any recommendations, I say this in every video, if you have any recommendations, or there's guys you want to see. Right now I'm focusing on the young guys, but if you have a guy that had a super killer year, he's your guy, he's on your team, if you want to see that guy, just go ahead and leave that comment for me, and then I'll go ahead and add those guys in with my next batch when I do that next week or in successive weeks. So thanks for watching, everybody. Take care. Keep enjoying MVP, and hopefully these updates give you a little bit of insight and then a little bit of guidance if you're doing your own updates at home. Just kind of showing you the sources I look at. Again, it's Fangraphs and Baseball Reference. Use ESPN a little bit as well, but hopefully it gives you kind of some insight and guidance to how I do my updates and gives you kind of a framework when you're doing your own. Take care, everybody.